everyone, welcome back to my channel and to today's video where I will be flipping through quarter 3 in my 2024 planner. Today's cat finished her planner spreads for 2024 yesterday and I am thrilled. It was, to be honest, a little bit of a slog to get through to the end. I want to change up my planning style a little bit for 2025 and it's really hard when you want to do that and you're kind of, you know, not stuck, but I guess that's sort of what I mean in your previous planning style, because I want the whole planner to be consistent. So it was a little bit of a push and I did have a lot to do. I had a lot of my bases done, but I actually don't really like putting functional stickers down, but it's fine. We're there. I've made a lot of progress and I'm really happy with all of the spreads. I honestly don't think there's a single spread in this whole planner that I don't like. So that's an amazing place to be in. I am in a different filming location today because the weather in the UK right now is honestly miserable. It's so grey. I mean, it's actually fine. I actually don't mind grey weather, but for filming purposes, it's not great. So I've had to move to my work desk, and I'm hoping this setup is okay. It's a bit precarious, but I'm hoping that it's going to be okay and you're going to be able to see well enough for me to do these spreads. A bit of housekeeping before we get started. The first 2 quarters of my planner flip through are up on my channel already if you want to check those out. When we go through the spreads, there will be some gaps in the plans where I just keep a few work things private and then I go and fill them out after I film this video. I'm not going to be going through where every individual sticker is from because I haul everything on this channel. You will have seen all of it at some point, but also because there's just too many stickers. But I will have a link in the description to a Google Doc, which is called my 7x9 planner favorites. It has a link to all of my supplies, all of the shops that I love. So definitely check that out. Give some of my favorite shops your love. But if there are any particular stickers where you want to know where it's from, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to let you know as long as I know. I will be recording some stats as we go through. I mark down which shops I get kits from and the colours of foil. And I got this idea from Tilly Journals, which is also where my planner is from. This is a 7x9 functional flexi planner. I love the functional flexi planners. They have so much freedom. I can choose to not have monthly spreads, which I do not have. And I can also choose the size of the quill and all that kind of stuff. You can get customizable covers. So there's just a lot of really fun stuff when you buy from Tilly. So do check out her shop if you are in the market for a 7x9. She's not always open and she's having a baby really soon. So she will probably, I expect, open more towards the end of the year for 2026 planners. I was about to say 2025, but no cat, we are in 2025. I think that's all my housekeeping. So the first spread is the 1st to the 7th of July. I love how many of the months started on the 1st in 2025. This is using a kit from Plannerface and this is using ice blue foil from SPC, but I'll just mark it as blue. Not that I think I used any blue colours other than ice blue, to be honest. This is such a cute spread. This is art by Kittenish Jess and it's this summer with strawberries and watermelons, which is so unique. It's really fun. It's so refreshing to look at, which I really love. I used this kit for this week because we went for a barbecue at my friend Sam and Sarah's. So it's been a few years since they've done their annual barbecue. And do you want to know a fun fact? So Stuart, my husband, how I met him was I was introduced to him, set up on a blind date by Sam and Sarah. And he used to go to their yearly barbecues, but I didn't typically go to their barbecues. And I could have met him before. It's such a weird feeling, a weird thing. But yeah, so they brought back their yearly barbecue. So that was really fun. We sorted out Lego for the kids and stuff. We were also planning Anna's birthday, which is coming up in the next video in quarter 4. So I was doing some sort of early prep work with Anna on planning out her birthday. Was reading some stuff. I don't think there was much else. This is a very busy work time for me. So yeah, you can see I was had so much to do. I was ranting with a colleague. I was having a lot of breakdowns. It's always really hard when batch planning because you realise how often you mark certain things and the amount of times I mark breakdown is a little bit concerning. Which is why I want to really work on my mental health in 2025. But yes, very cute spread. Really love that one. Then we have the week of the 8th to the 14th of July. This is using another kit from Plannerface and this is using hollow foil from Plannerface. This is the floral bundle, the flower one, and it was just the perfect vibe for this spread. This kit is also art by Kittenish Jess. There was a reasonable number of back to school art in 2024, which I personally love. So I work in education. I work with older kids, so I do buy like all education kits, but I am saving my other ones in case I ever need them. But the older kid ones are perfect for me. And I was just so obsessed with this when Jess released it. I was like, I love everything about this. And this was perfect for this week because whilst as manager, I don't have as much involvement with young people anymore as I used to. When it's really busy, I obviously do to help my team out. And this is like the busiest week for me with being around young people and helping kind of support their education. So it was like so fun to be able to use this kit. There were so many fashion people with this spread. So what I did is I pulled out the like older looking teens and the people that I think could represent teachers or staff members, and that was the focus. So I've kept back the like younger people boxes for like future spreads. I actually accidentally bought this kit twice. I have no idea why. Anna was like, oh, I didn't question it because like she knows what I do for work, and she was like, I thought it made sense, which it kind of does, but it was just so weird that I did that. But I love this spread. It's so bright and fun, and I love all the flowers and the lockers, and like everything about this spread is beautiful. This is like really up there in spreads I like obsessively love because it's just so fun. We also booked our honeymoon then. Well, I think we didn't book our honeymoon because we knew where we were going. We went on honeymoon in September, but I think we must have been like booking the actual activities we were going to do because it took us a while to work out what we were going to be doing. And yeah, other than that, it was just really busy work stuff, like because on top of trying to do all of this stuff for work, like all of the events and stuff we have, I was also trying to do appraisals for my team, so there was work there. I also filmed my wedding plan with me then, which is up on the channel if you want to check that out. I was reading a reasonable amount, so I'm proud of myself for that. In the Weeds was not my favourite book, so proud of myself for, you know, persevering. And I also picked up my wedding dress from the dry cleaners. And do you know what? There's something that nobody tells you is how much it costs to get your dress dry cleaned. Yeah, there's an expense. It cost about half of what it cost to buy my dress, which I didn't have a particularly expensive dress. It cost about half to get it dry cleaned. Yeah, really miserable. But love the spread. Then we have, oh my baby, this is the week of the 15th to the 21st of July. This is using another kit from Plannerface with art by Kittenish Jess. And this is using orange foil from SPC, which I just very recently hauled. So I talked about this, I think, when I hauled the kit about working out what I was going to do. So we lost my beloved pet, Antonio, who was our like final cat from my parents' house. Like I've always grown up with cats. We had times where we had like 4 cats and a dog, you know, we've always had animals. And Tony was the last of our family pets to be alive. And he was also kind of my cat. Like when we got him and his brother Sky, I was like the one that named Tony, and he's named after Antonio Banderas because he's a gingy and he like reminds me of Puss in Boots. And I had this like little stuffed toy version of him that I would carry everywhere. Like, yeah. And we had Tony for 21 years. So he lived an amazing life. And he just unfortunately had a very rapid decline in 2024. So, you know, it was time. It was time that we had to let him go. But obviously it was a really hard time for us, especially my parents, because, you know, I haven't lived with him for quite a while. But I really wanted to represent him. He actually died the following week, but that's my birthday week. So I did think about using this kit, and honestly I could have done, because it's so reading focused, I could have used it. But this was the week I said goodbye to him. I didn't get to see him in the week he passed away. So I decided to like do this spread to kind of like really commemorate when I got to spend my final time with him. And also my parents bought me some sunflowers for my birthday, and there's sunflowers in the kit. So it just felt like the right week to do the spread. And I really wanted to use this kit because it's so orange and it had no cats in it. It's so orange and it was just perfect. And like my parents' house their colour scheme is terracotta. So, you know, it really reminds me of like, they've got a windowsill that Tony loved to sit on. And so, and my parents' house is full of books. My dad is a serious book collector. If any of you ever wondered where I get it from, it's my dad. Anyone who's been to my parents' house is like, it's on another level with the number of books it has. So I really wanted to, memorialise him in a spread. But there weren't any kits with cats that were kind of appropriate. Like there are a fair few like pet party kits, and that did not feel like the right kit to use to celebrate my boy. So I was talking to Anna and trying to work out what to do. And Anna had this drawing of me done by Jess for my 30th birthday a couple of years ago. And I've actually never had it in a kit. We've never like put the drawing of me in. And Anna was like, well, why don't I put you in the kit? And then if you can find like an orange cat clip art that you really like, I'll make you some boxes. And Jess had done this orange cat for her XOXO art like quite a few years ago. Now it was a Valentine's set. And he's the one that just most reminds me of Tony. I love how he looks so serene. And like this one where he's like by the window and just basking in the sun is like so my boy. So I'm incredibly lucky to have Anna in my life because she made these boxes for me, and it meant that I could have dedicated Tony boxes. And my friend Emma's now got some of the spares, and she's bought this kit so that she can have some Tony boxes because she knew him as well. Yeah, it's just really cute. And it's the thing for me that I love most about having a memory planner is opening the week and looking at it and being like, I remember exactly what was happening in my life right then. It's why I own so many kits, because I always want to have the perfect kit for the perfect week. And I know that there are some people that think I'm a bit obsessive about that, but this is why. It's so that I can have weeks like this where it just like transports me back to what was going on. So yeah, it's the perfect spread. And that's really what was going on. We still had some work stuff. I was reading Caraval. Was this the first or the second time that I started Caraval? Who knows? I think the second time, probably, for me to mark it. Went to see some of my friends in the musical Joseph. Yeah, other than that, obviously, it really was about Tony. And then we have the week of the 22nd to the 28th of July. This is using a very old kit from SPC, and it's using silver foil. It's always easier for you to see than me, so I'm sorry if it looks like I'm sort of not sure what foil I'm using, but it's always easier to see on camera. So this was my birthday week, and yeah, like I say, Tony did pass away on the 24th, but I decided to use a birthday kit just to sort of not let that, memory pass me by. So this kit it's one of my favorite. This is also art by Jess. So I think we've gone, an entire month with just art from Jess, which is incredible. I love you, Jess. I love your art. And this was a kit where J. Crew Plans, who is from a few years ago, one of the biggest planner YouTubers. She's a really good friend of Andrea from SPC. And Jess's Plan With Me videos, like nothing will ever beat the experience of watching Jess's Plan With Me videos. I used to like watch them in the gym, and I would binge watch them. I've watched all of them multiple times. It sounds so weird when I say it, but there's just something so comforting about Jess's Plan With Me's. She doesn't do Plan With Me's anymore, which is a shame, but totally have to respect that's the period of life that she's in. So this kit really reminds me of Jess because the art is a few years old, and it really sort of goes back to when Jess was doing loads of Plan With Me's. So I like, it's really fun to use a kit from back then. And yeah, so I was glad to finally use it because I've had this kit for quite a long time. I'm not sure this is the original version of this kit. I think this is a reformatted, but I believe that Andrea has reformatted this again and it's in shop now. I think I might be wrong, but I think that's what happened. So, but yeah, it was just really fun to use art that I've loved for a really long time. I love the pastel vibes, very fun. And I didn't really have like a party birthday. So my birthday fell on the Sunday and we went to the St. Albans Comedy Garden, which we've done for the last few years. It was a really fun day. It was just me and Stuart just hanging out. I didn't really do masses of celebrations or anything. I was actually prepping for my driving test, which is maybe the following week. Well, like my failed one, my first one. The Olympics was on and stuff. There was a lot happening and I wasn't really celebrating my birthday. But this kit, I don't think is too party. So I think it kind of works. I love what I've done with the full box in the top corner as well. So I personally love a quote box. I would always rather use a quote box in the top left than I would anything else. And this kit had a plain box that's kind of perfect for a quote, but I didn't have any birthday quotes. So I used this spring one from Planner Face, which says live life in full bloom. I just thought that was really cute for my birthday spread, and that was really what was going on in this week. I was reading a fair amount, which is good, and some books that I really like. Meet Me in Hawaii, it's really fun. And we went on the Saturday, so that was kind of when I actually celebrated with my parents. We went to St. Albans Comedy Garden both days, but then we had an awful drive, but then we went to see some of my friends in a play and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, a fun week, and I was off work the whole week, which is always very nice, obviously. So let's move on to August. Such a fun spread. So this is the 29th of July to the 4th of August. This is using a kit from SPC, and it's using, I think it's matte bronze, not gold. So I'm gonna say matte bronze. I honestly don't know. I think it might be matte bronze. So let's say matte bronze because it's not got that sort of hot gold look. So this is the week that I saw the Mean Girls musical, and it was what I'd known I wanted to do for my birthday, but I didn't want to do it in my birthday week because I didn't want to use the Mean Girls kit for my birthday week. So that's just like so typical me. But yeah, so this is like really fun, and thank you, Mac Plans. Thank you so much, Michaela, for selling me this kit because I didn't pick it up at the time, and I really don't know why, because Mean Girls is one of my favourite movies. It's just so weird, and I love the art, so I have no idea why I didn't pick it up, but I didn't, and I'm very grateful to Michaela for selling it to me. As I say, this is the week I saw the Mean Girls musical. It's actually not my favourite musical, to be honest. I hadn't seen the new film, so I didn't know any of the music. It's a fun time. It's very high energy. I think if you like Six, you would probably really like Mean Girls. I think the music's very similar, but I actually don't love Six, so it's not necessarily my kind of musical, but very fun to have seen it. And it was really fun because I went to see it with my mum and Stuart, and we had to wear pink. I think Stuart wore red. He doesn't only pink, but mum and I wore pink. And then because we went on a Wednesday, because I had to, Mean Girls, they gave us a little badge that says on Wednesdays we wear pink for free. So that was really cute, and that's like on my bookshelves. Yeah, we went to see Deadpool versus Wolverine, which was, we saw it in 4DX, and I've never seen anything in 4DX. And when I tell you, it was absolutely terrifying. It was like the worst cinema experience I've ever had. And I feel like I actually have no idea what happened in the film because I was just constantly worrying about when the chair would next violently throw me around. Awful. And I realised I forgot to talk about in my birthday spread, I took myself on a date day and I went to see Fly Me to the Moon, which was really good. If you like romances, but also ones with like a little bit of like space in it, Fly Me to the Moon was really good. So I'd recommend that. What else have I got in here? Okay, so so this is when I failed my driving test. Good that I put that behind Katie, you know? But yeah, so I took my driving test. So getting a driving test around where I live is very, very difficult. The waiting list is like over a year, and you can't even book like in region. So I had to book a test in like Newcastle, which is where Stuart's family are from. And then you're like constantly looking for tests that cancellation. It's honestly awful trying to take a test around here. And my cancellation, like I got cancellations for both, as in like I found out quite short notice that I was going to be taking my test. And I don't know whether that's good or bad, because in some ways it stopped me from overthinking, but in other ways I felt like I wasn't necessarily like prepared. And I took my test on that Friday, and I think I was ready to take the test. It was just I made one very, very silly minor mistake. And in fact, I don't even really call it a mistake because every local does what I did. It's just you shouldn't, obviously, that's why I failed. But every local does what I did, and it meant that I failed. And other than that, I had a really good drive. The driving examiner that I had was lovely, and he actually had my test the second time round. He like swapped to make sure he had me. It's really kind of him. So yeah, and it was just one of these like really frustrating things of like, because you know, I'm 32 and I hadn't passed my test, and it felt so like emotional, and I was so like embarrassed about being 32 and not being able to drive, even though I would be so mad at anybody else who ever said that. Like, I absolutely have reasons why it took me so long to drive, you know, and I absolutely don't need to feel embarrassed about that. And it's so funny to look back on now, because I took my test in September, passed, and now I can just get in the car and drive wherever I want. I drove for like nearly 5 hours at Christmas. So it's so weird to think back to a time where I didn't know how to drive after waiting like my whole life to drive. So yeah. But yeah, I guess this is my message to you, that if you have not yet passed your test and you feel like you're too old, you're not too old. Like, never feel that way. You know, it will happen when it's meant to happen. I was watching a lot of Olympics. Like a lot of gymnastics. Diving is my favourite Olympic sport. I would love to watch diving live. But I actually don't know if I would enjoy it as much as I do watching it on the TV. And then Emma came over, because Emma and I are big into the Olympics. She actually did a really cool thing, because she was planning it when I saw her like yesterday in my time. but she's done doubled 2 weeks of Olympic spreads. It looks amazing. But we're like big into the Olympics, so we literally just watch the Olympics all day. So like the dressage and gymnastics and swimming and athletics and stuff. And she's marked hers really cool because she's marked like the number of medals and way more information than I did. And I wish I'd done mine like hers, but in 4 years' time, I'm going to do it like that. Then we have Olympics week. Oh, Katie, don't get stuck. We have Olympics week, so 5th to the 11th of August. This is using a kit from Planner Phase. Okay, yeah, this is definitely gold foil, so I think the other one is definitely matte bronze. So yeah, this is Olympics week with art by Nella. I'm so grateful to Nella for doing Olympics art because the Olympics is just a big part of my life when it's on. You know, I'm not into sport any other time of the year, but I love the Olympics. So it was so fun to do an Olympic spread, and there were so many boxes. Like Anna did so many skin tone variations because Nella drew like loads of options. So I've got all of those saved as spares so that I could do this spread again in 4 years, potentially when the Olympics is back. Who knows what's going to happen with the planner world by then, but I like to be prepared, you know. And yeah, I was just marking a lot of watching the Olympics. And I went to see Two Strangers Carry a Cake across New York with my friend Laura. This was such a good musical, really underrated, really enjoyed that. It got advertised that they were finally creating a role above me, which I've been doing basically unpaid for several years, that they'd finally created that role. So that got announced that day, and was doing some more appraisals for my team. I was also printing printable kits. And yeah, interestingly, this is when I filmed my unhaul, which I think must mean my book D-Stash, but I thought I filmed that earlier, so I'm not really sure what that is. I was still reading Meet Me in Hawaii, which did take a while, but I did really enjoy it. Yeah, mostly just Olympic stuff in that spread. Then I have the week of the 12th to the 18th of August. This is using a kit from Planner Face, and this is using rose gold foil. Like copper rose gold rather than pink rose gold. This is such a cute spread. This is art by Dinda from Milk and Berries, who's not drawing art anymore. And this is obviously book themed. And I think it was just, so this is Emma's birthday week. And Emma is not really a reader, but she does read a bit. And we do talk about books quite a lot, despite the fact she doesn't read. But also this week, I was just doing a lot of reading. This is like my worst work week in many ways. I'm not even sure if it's my worst anymore, but it's a very, very busy work week for me. But I was reading a lot outside that, and then on the Saturday and Sunday I did a lot of reading. Was this when I finished Caraval? No. Yeah, finished Caraval. Yeah, so I was like reading like all day on that Sunday, and I was filming a vlog as well while I was doing it. So I think I just wanted to kind of like remember that. This kit's so funny to me because I don't know if it was, but it really reminds me of Olivia Reads a Latte. It just looks so much like Liv. Yeah, as I say, busy work week, but I was reading a lot. I was reading Degrees of Engagement, like a lot. Like it took me like 5 days to read. Yeah. Then I have the week of the 19th to the 25th of August. This is using a kit from SPC, and this is using sparkly hollow foil. So this 2024 was the year of Wicked for me. Obviously Wicked Part 1 came out. We'll get there in the next video. And I went to see Wicked in the theatre twice. So we went for Anna's birthday, which you'll also see in the next video. And that was just like the thing that Anna really wanted to do. She really wanted to see Wicked. I love Wicked. I've now seen it like 13 times. You know what I mean? Like I really love it. Or 12 times. And I think I'm going to be seeing it my 13th in 2025. I really love Wicked, and yeah, we wanted to go for Anna's birthday. And originally when we'd spoken about going for Anna's birthday, it was going to be me, Anna, Emma and my mum. And then Anna wanted to invite some other friends. Totally understand. She doesn't necessarily want to celebrate her birthday weekend with my mum. So then I said to my mum, like, let's go, me and her, because I have seen Wicked with her once or twice before, but she really couldn't see very well because the kind of like we had really tall person in front of us. The rake at Wicked is terrible in the stalls. So she couldn't see very well. And we decided, okay, like I was like, Mum, let's go again. We'll go like kind of near your birthday. We'll make it your birthday show. Like, let's go and see Wicked. So I decided to use the Wicked kit from SPC, which Stuart bought me as a surprise. No, did he buy me the other kit as a surprise? No, I think the Wicked kit was a surprise for my birthday in like 2020 or something, because I have the best husband in the world. And I was like, no, it's finally time to use the Wicked kit. There's a small part of me that regrets it now because I'm going to see Wicked, as I said, in 2025. And Kingston, who is one of my favourite performers ever, is going to be Elphaba. And my mum and I are going on opening night. We're going to be like front row of the dress circle. We are... It's like so exciting. So there's a part of me now that's like, oh, I really wish that I'd saved it, because being Elphaba is like incredible. And Zizi Strallen's going to be Glinda, and it's just going to be like so epic. But obviously the kit's laid down now, so so what can you do? And unless somebody would like to draw me some more Wicked art, like Nella, if you're listening, if you would like to draw me some more Wicked art, I would love that. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Obviously, I saw Wicked in this week, so it's not like a stupid week to have used it. And it was the first time I'd seen Wicked again in a few years, so it makes total sense. I love this spread. It's so beautiful. Andrea did reformat this kit, and there was a lot of red in it. And I'm really glad that I don't have that version, because I understand why there's red for the ruby slippers, but in Wicked the shoes are silver, and that red just doesn't feature for me in this artwork. So I think personally having it without the red is better. And I just love like how pastel it is, and the sparkly hollow is the perfect choice. And I went for one that had big dots, so it was like Glinda's bubble. Yeah, I love everything about this spread. Like to see this kit finally laid down is amazing. And yeah, obviously I love Wicked. I have multiple Wicked spreads in this year, which is really fun. It is nice that they're all in the same year, so that's really fun. We also went to the Barbie 65th anniversary exhibition, which was so good. So I'm a massive Barbie fan. Like I have many Barbies, and my mum is also a massive Barbie fan. That's how I have so many Barbies, to be honest, because my mum facilitated it. And it was so fun to go to that exhibition with her and sort of go through like the history of Barbie. Like it was just such a lovely day out. Yeah, I was researching planners, because I went through in the second half of the year, which I always do. I went through like a phase of, I don't know what planners I'm going to use and blah, blah, blah. And I like fell off the wagon, and I would like put all this effort into prepping a planner and then would drop it after a week. And I've not really fixed that yet. I saw my friends, played some Artisans with Tom and Natalie, which is a board game that we play. Was prepping for the interview, which I guess is probably coming in the following week, because it was a really short turnaround for that job. Yeah, and that is that week. Yeah, here we go. So this is the week of the 26th of August to the 1st of September. This is using a kit from Plannerface, and this is using purple. I don't think I did mixed foil. I think it's just purple. And this is the week that I got the job. So this is art by Kitnish Jess, and I love this set. So Jess released 2 colorways of this set. She did this pink and purple version, and she did a blue version as well. I love both. I have both, and honestly I swapped them in and out of my lineup so many times, and it was always just dependent on the day as to which one I was going to use, and it ended up being the pink and purple on that day that I felt like using. I think as well because I wanted it to be different from the Wicked kit, and the blue one would have maybe felt more similar, whereas the pink is like a totally different vibe. And yeah, this was the week that I got the job, which, as I say, is a job that I have been working towards for several years. Annoyingly, the job is only fixed term, and we don't really know. Things are like quite up in the air at my workplace right now, so that's not so fun. But anyway, we won't think about that. But this was the week I got the job, so I wanted to use a kit that really like screamed. This really confuses me when there's aeroplanes, because I don't live in a flight path. So yeah, this is like, it just really screams like work to me, and it's also got lockers and stuff as well, and as I say, I work in education, so it's quite a good mixture in that way. And this is like so me as well. Like when I'm working from home, I'm always in like a cozy jumper. I've got my glasses on, but this is what I look like when I'm kind of going for that more professional look. Like I have a black one and a white one, like a high neck polo like that, and I would wear it with a skirt, so that is like literally me. Yeah, and I love like all the motivational posters, like, because it's really, sometimes it's really hard to believe in yourself for this sort of thing. So yeah, we were doing a bit more planning for Anna's birthday, which is coming up very soon. Went to see My Neighbor Totoro. Can you believe I'd never seen My Neighbor Totoro? Like the film, I've seen the musical, but yeah, I really enjoyed the film. The musical's better, but I enjoyed the film. And went to Mischief movie night. So Mischief are a company that do like comedy plays, and this was like an improv version where they were going to like come up with a movie. That was really fun. Then I went to see Hello Dolly. Okay, this was a busy week, because then I had the interview on Friday. Went to see Hello Dolly, which I really enjoyed. It had Imelda Staunton as Dolly, and I love Imelda. The biggest compliment I ever got while I was at uni was my teacher saying that I reminded him of a young Imelda, and I was like, You could not have said anything better to me. Then we went back into London on Saturday as well, because we went to see Shamilton, which was an improv group that come from Edinburgh Fringe who do, and they're mostly from the US, but it had, I can't think of his name now. But it did have like a British comedian in it, and they were doing like it's sort of like mock Hamilton. So they do the music in the style of Hamilton, but you pick a different theme, and it is sort of like Hamilton in that you pick like a celebrity or a public figure or an actor or whatever, and they'll do a musical about them. And ours was Bob the Builder, so that was very interesting. And then on the Sunday, so I started to feel unwell at this point, and I wasn't really sure what was going on, wasn't feeling very good, and I was getting a little bit concerned because we were on the run up to honeymoon. But we had tickets to see The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi at our local cinema. They were doing them back to back, which was perfect because we've been trying to watch the Star Wars films. It's honestly taken about 3 years for us to finish them. So this was a good way to like knock out 2 of them. And at least because the cinema was not too far from where I live, I could kind of be like somewhere not too far from home if I was really poorly. So then let's have a look at September, the final month for this video. Oh my gosh, I love the spread so much. So this is the 2nd to the 8th of September. This is using a kit from Planner Face, and this is using, I think that is ice blue foil again. I don't think I went for silver. And this is, I love everything about this spread. The week was kind of horrible in many ways, but the art was beautiful. So I was very poorly, so that was like very unfun, because basically what we don't know at this point is that I have COVID again. And interestingly, I've not marked that. Maybe I still didn't know actually that I tested positive. Maybe it's in the following week that I know I tested positive. But anyway, so at this point I'm like, I'm feeling really poorly, things are not good. But I had my second driving test in, and I was so unwell. My driving test was at like 7:50 or something in the morning. So I had to get up, and Stuart was away for work as well. So I had to get up at like 6 a.m. to do my driving test. Passed. My examiner was hilarious because like when we came up to the like roundabout where I'd failed before, he was like, we're coming up, you're gonna do this. He was amazing and very excited when I passed, because like after my first test, he was like, you can absolutely drive. It just was, you know, a lapse in judgment mistake. So yeah, really nice to have passed that. And that was just like so overwhelming to have passed my test. And then because Stuart was away as well, and I like couldn't even see him and celebrate with him, but he'd left P plates, congratulations card, and a set of car keys for me in his office. So when I messaged him, he was like, go up to the office. And, oh, it was so cute. He's amazing. So like I had that to deal with while feeling really poorly, and then I had to sleep at my mum and dad's because I had rehearsals and stuff like that, and Stuart actually had our car, so I was like also having my dad still pick me up and stuff. And then having COVID is one thing, but it triggered my skin condition, urticaria, and that was awful because it was like I was so poorly. Like when my urticaria is bad, it's very bad. So you can see that like that's going in there. And like when the dermatologist called me on Thursday, he was like, "Do you think you have COVID?" And I was like, "No." I don't have COVID. Turns out I did have COVID. So that's why like I'm still going out and doing things. We had there we go, I tested positive there. We're still going out and doing things because I did not believe I had COVID. I hadn't seen anybody who'd had COVID. So took my mum to her birthday afternoon tea because we were going to be away for her birthday. We went to a Bridgerton themed afternoon tea, which was really nice. Mum and I love a bougie afternoon tea, to be honest. So that was really fun. And then we went to see The Baker's Wife, my mum and my dad, which was a musical that was really good. And then on the Thursday, we went to see Frozen because Frozen was closing this week. So my mum and I'd seen it already, but mum didn't come. So I really wanted to go to see it with her. And so the reason I used this kit was because of that Bridgerton afternoon tea. This was a mystery that Anna and I did quite a while ago with Art by Nella, who just nailed it. I remember when Anna, she'll just like share the art with me when we get it through from the artist. And I was like, I think we've completely peaked. Like Nella had just taken our vision. And this was one of the first sets that Nella drew for us, I think, if not the first one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in awe of somebody being able to be this talented. Like, it's so perfect. And I love how monochrome it is. Like, it's just incredible. So, yeah, went to see Frozen. Yeah, Stuart came home. And then I think at this point, I was like, well, I'll just test just to see. Like, I don't think the doctor's correct, but, you know, I'll just test. And I was positive. So, yeah, then obviously didn't go anywhere, stayed in the house. In many ways, it was better to get it over before the honeymoon, but obviously it was really annoying because I got so poorly before honeymoon. Was doing more planning for Anna's birthday. I was watching Emily in Paris all day. It's the kind of show you can binge. I actually don't enjoy Emily in Paris anymore, but I do still watch it. And then I finally finished The Crown because I've kind of been putting off finishing it, so I finally persevered and finished it. I was also sleeping in the spare room because I was really trying to not give Stuart COVID, and I managed not to. Look at me go. And then I was just like working on my planner. I started rewatching Modern Family, but I have kind of paused at that, but I was rewatching it for a while, and I love Modern Family, and I've never finished it, but I was starting again. Yeah, so like this spread is so beautiful, and it's so weird to have these really, really lovely memories with my mum and passing my test, and then the flip side is so dreadful. But that's how it goes, I guess. Then I have the week of the 9th to the 15th of September. This is using another kit from Planner Face, and this is using, I call it pink foil. It's like SPC rose, but I call it pink. So this was the week that my brother-in-law and his wife Sophie got married, and it's so fun because we literally just saw them yesterday in like current cat time. And yeah, this is art by Jess. It's beautiful. She did 2 colorways of this set as well, and Matt and Sophie's wedding color was like sage green, same as ours, but theirs came out in quite a different vibe to ours. It was obviously a very different sort of venue, and theirs was a lot more neutral, and it was more of like a sort of, their sage green ended up kind of going closer to like a creamy colour, so I felt that this was like a good kit for them. They also had a lot of splashes of pink, like Soph's Bouquet was really pink, so I felt like this was like a really, really, I have a lot of wedding kits because I buy every single one that I see, because you never know what colour schemes people are going to go for, and this was like the perfect one of the ones I had, I think, for being as close as I could get to like their colour scheme. And also their wedding was outdoors, so I wanted to make sure that I had a kit that kind of represented that. And they actually very much had this sort of vibe where they got married like on a set of stairs, and there was like a structure behind. So I felt that this gave like the closest to their outdoor ceremony. And then for their reception, they did have a giant marquee. So much of this set was like linked to them. They didn't have the blue in it, but you know, you're obviously never going to get it like super perfect. And yeah, so most of this week was like prepping for the wedding, and it was mine and Stuart's 5-year dating anniversary on the 12th as well, but we didn't celebrate that this year because obviously like we're married now, so our wedding anniversary is shifted. And also I think because like Matt and Sophie's wedding anniversary is going to be this week, ours kind of being in May, it like is a good split. And yeah, obviously I was still poorly, so we were still dealing with that, and then having to like slowly reintegrate into work. I'm actually not sure, I don't think I went into the office at all because obviously I didn't want to infect anyone. And we then on the Friday travelled to the venue. Well, there was a bit of a faff on the way because the colour of suits that the groomsmen wore for the wedding was like a very dark navy blue, and Stuart had a blue suit that we kind of thought was navy, and I've now learned that wedding navy suits, it's a different navy and it's like almost black. And so we had to like go buy a suit shop on the way literally to the wedding to buy a navy suit, and we had a cheeky Nando's while we're doing that. And then we drove to the Airbnb, well, yeah, an Airbnb, or like a B&B, I suppose, not an Airbnb, a B&B. But we had like most of the rooms booked out because there was like all of the family staying. And the lady there, she just, for whatever reason, I don't know if she couldn't understand Stuart's mum's accent or what, but had completely messed up the setup of the rooms. So she kept insisting that there was multiple twin rooms, and we kept trying to explain to her that we did not need a twin room and that we needed a double room. And we knew she could put the beds together because she said she could do it, but like wouldn't do it for us. It was like, we're married, like it needs a double bed, but she just wouldn't do it. So we slept in twin beds for the whole weekend, which is just bizarre. And then we obviously hung out with the family, and then we went for a big family dinner with Stuart's brother the night before he got married. And then Saturday was the wedding. So yeah, we like took Stuart's niece out for a walk to just burn some energy off before the wedding. Went to the wedding, and the photographer wanted to do photos like of the boys before the ceremony, but they were meant to greet guests. So then one of Matt's friends just like saw me and was like, great, your family, can you just greet all the guests? I was like, okay. So I ended up doing that, and then there was like photos and drinks and speeches and food and, you know, all the normal wedding stuff. And then on the Sunday we drove back, and then I just had a hang out one family. I marked washing my hair, so I must have not really done anything because I don't mark that most of the time. And then was still feeling really poorly. And this is like the day before we fly to honeymoon. So obviously there is a bit of the panic of like, I'm still really bad and what's going to happen. And I had to take so much meds with me, so many creams and that kind of thing. Like most of my stuff I packed was medication. And then I've written pack here because we literally were leaving for honeymoon. Like we moved our honeymoon so we could be at Mount Sophie's wedding. So we literally were going on honeymoon like the day after. So then we have the week of the 16th to the 22nd of September. It's using a kit from SPC, and this is using silver foil. I've waited so long to use this kit. I've waited so long. It's also a kit I think that J. Crew used, and it's from the same artist who, like, she doesn't draw, or they don't draw for SPC anymore, but I love their art, whoever they are. I really wish they would come back because I love the art that they do. And this was when we went on honeymoon. So we went to Greece, and I'm not saying that I picked it specifically because of the kit, but Stuart was very happy to go to Greece and I had the perfect kit. So it was a happy coincidence. But I have a lot of location kits, so obviously we could have used several, but yeah, I'm so happy how the spread came out. We've got flippy boxes everywhere. It's one that I would have liked to have done a plan with me for, really, but I didn't. But yeah, there's like flippy boxes literally on every day, because I wanted to mark every single thing that we did on honeymoon. I do still need to really film like a review of our honeymoon like I did for our cruise in 2023. So I will eventually do that. I'm just a bit behind on doing it, but I would really like to do it. But yeah, so we went to Greece for our honeymoon. So we went for 2 weeks. For the first week, we did all of the touristy stuff. So we were staying in Heraklion, and we did like a lot of stuff around there because there's a lot of ruins and stuff like that we can do. So it was like things like that. In our first week, we went to Santorini for the day, and then we transferred over to our resort for the later half of the week. So I'll go through day by day because it's a bit more interesting, I think, for the honeymoon weeks. So the first day, we were just traveling. We had some drama with trains and we thought we weren't going to be able to make it to the airport, but it was all good. Stuart gets air miles, so we got to hang out in the lounge. That was my first time ever flying from a lounge. Is that true? I think actually for Florida, we probably flew from a lounge, but this was like, I'd never flown from Gatwick's lounge. So it was a really nice lounge, and there was these mini pies that I was just completely obsessed with. Our flight was delayed, but we finally got to Heraklion, which is the most gross airport. Like Greece is lovely, right? We had a really lovely time. But Heraklion Airport is the most disgusting airport I've ever been to. And I honestly would say, wait to go until they've built the new airport, which they're in the process of doing, because the current airport is like, it's unclean. It's really like disgusting on another level. And we'll talk more about that in the following week, but it's gross. And then our transfer wasn't there, so that was fun. And I actually find traveling like really, really anxiety inducing, so that maybe gives some context to some of this. And then when we got to our hotel, they'd also set it up with twin beds, and I was like, this cannot be happening to us. Some people just do not want Stuart and I to share a bed. We could push them together, it was fine, but yeah, it was just really funny. Then on the Tuesday was like a bit more of a quieter day, but like we didn't have, so Stuart and I are much more people that will just base ourselves in one place, and we'll do like really early start coach tours to get to other places. I found that it's the least stress inducing way to do things because you're kind of on an organized tour. I'd rather actually not explore places on my own back. I'd rather be part of something organized, and we did it when we went to Rome as well, and that worked really well. So this was sort of the one day where we didn't have like a really early thing. So we just like walked around Heraklion. We went to St. Mark's Basilica. We went to the museum, the Crete Aquarium, got a bubble waffle at Hansel and Gretel. That was like one of the highlights of the trip for me, was this like incredibly themed ice cream shop. And then I was reading some books about Greece while we were over there. Then on Wednesday, we did an organised tour with like, it was quite a small tour. So I think they probably do between like 6 to 10 people. And they'd asked us whether we were able to move the day that we went. And we were like, we're really sorry. Like our week is so planned out. We can't do it. So it was just us and one other couple called Laurie and Tony. And I'm so glad that it worked out that way, because they were an American couple on a retirement holiday. And it was this like epic, like 3 or 4 month trip around Europe that they were doing. They were the nicest people. It was so nice to hang out with them for the day, because we like ate dinner with them, like, because the guy that we went with, Marinos, he organizes really small personal tours. So there's a lot of benefits to that, but also there are some elements of it that like you really get to know him. You like learn all about his life and his wife, and we said hello to his granddad at one point. It's a very different sort of experience, but he was so friendly, and I think being with Laurie and Tony just made it like so unique because they were just so lovely. So, and like, but you eat lunch with them and you do all the tour, you're with them the whole time. So yeah, we went to an olive oil factory, and then we like, they had like photos and stuff, and we went to the Cave of Zeus, had loads of chats with them. Then we went to the Palace of Knossos, and at this point the weather was absolutely awful, but we still had a really good tour. And Laurie and Tony had booked a guide to take them around the Palace of Knossos, and they let us come for free as a honeymoon gift. Like, oh my gosh, it was just like so lovely. So yeah, it was like just such a nice day. And then we just like hung out for the evening. Then on Thursday, we got a call at 12:30 in the morning from the hotel being like, can you guys, have you got a fire in your apartment? And you know, when you're called in the middle of the night after like a really long day and you're absolutely exhausted, and it just like, it meant we slept so awfully because the whole time we thought our room was going to go up in smoke. Yeah, I'm not happy with the hotel about that. Anyway, we also had to get up really early because we got a minibus to Hania, which love Hania. Like, now we know a lot more about Greece. I think we would have stayed in Hania over Heraklion because Hania was just like so beautiful. And I personally don't like Heraklion. It's very run down and stuff, whereas like Hania is just like so beautiful. But yeah, so we like walked around there for a bit, and we got a coach to Lake Kornos, and then I think we were so exhausted by this day, like we actually didn't do a lot in each place because there was just a lot happening. I walked around a lot looking for more cream, to be honest, for my urticaria. And then we went to Rethmo, and then on Friday, this box is actually not from this kit, by the way, it's the same artist, but it's from like a Hawaii or something kit, but I love that it's got a couple box in it, and the colour of that pink is the perfect pink, so I just brought it in because this is like exactly me and Stuart, so just brought that in. So Friday was when we went to Santorini, and Santorini is complete chaos, right? And this kit's obviously like a Santorini kit, like this is Santorini, and it was just, yeah, I don't know if I would recommend Santorini because obviously it's like the second most popular honeymoon destination. So many cruises go there, and we looked up the days that cruises dock in Santorini and picked the Friday to go because it was the day which had the least people in Santorini in the week we were there, and it was still madness. It was so hard to move for people. It was just complete chaos. So we didn't love going there. Like, we did get our like dome photo. Once you've done that, it's like, yeah, I'm actually just ready to go back. Stuart and I are not great with crowds. And we went on this boat round a volcano, which was such a waste of time and money because we just didn't even do anything. We just sat on this boat because you could get out and swim, but you needed to know that that was what was happening. And we hadn't bought anything. And also I wouldn't have got out and swum anyway. But it meant like most people that got in the water didn't even have swimwear with them because we didn't know that that was what was going to happen. And if you didn't go in the water, you just sat on the boat. It was like, we were just like sat there reading. The boat was small. Yeah, it was just like a bit of a disappointing day, to be honest. But anyway, the more exciting part, in my opinion, of the honeymoon is that on the Saturday we then transferred to Stellar Island, which is like a true like Instagram destination. It's this absolutely incredible adults only resort, and it is, I think, kind of perfect for a honeymoon because it's so romantic and they do so many like romantic things. And this is really why I need to film that video, because I need to do like a full review of Stellar Island. So I won't talk about it too much, I think, in this, because it will be much easier for me to gather my thoughts for that video. But yeah, it's this amazing resort. So we went over there on the Saturday and we had a honeymoon package. That's all very nice, obviously. You had to sort of like sit there and book a load of stuff for that. And then the only like real downside at Stellar Island was there was a major issue with ants, because people obviously eat in their like villa thing. And you can also have like floating breakfasts and stuff there. Like, there's a lot that encourages ants, and I'm terrified of ants. So that was like, it really put a dampener across because they kept coming back and I just didn't feel I could relax. So that was a really disappointing part, but I loved everything else. There's a lot of like live music. It's actually really similar to being on a cruise, to be honest. There's a lot of live music and you can eat in a different place every night and that kind of thing. And then Sunday we were just having a more relaxed day, like reading, swimming in the pool, like that kind of stuff. And then for the week of the 23rd to the 29th of September, this is using a kit from Caress Press. And this is art by Jess. And this was exclusive for Caress Press. And this is using ice blue foil for the third time. And this, I've loved this mystery, like ever since it came out. I bought it straight away, like in the overstock, because I was like, oh my gosh, I love this kit. Like, but we don't go on a lot of summer holidays, so I was really worried I'd never get to use it. But this is really the vibe of our villa, and like we had like, you know, a raised area with like sofas and stuff, so I decided I was going to use it for the week we were in Stella Island. I did have another Greece kit, but I decided not to use it because I just felt that this kit was so perfect for being in Stella Island. We weren't exploring Greece in this week. Still have a lot of flippy boxes in this one. I think that's all of them, so not as many, but yeah, because a lot more of it was just like relaxing and hanging out. We went to the beach because we went to sort of check out the beach, and then Stuart went to do jet skiing later in the week, and we did paddle boarding as well. And yeah, it was just a lot of reading. The books took me forever to read, my urticaria being sucky, and yeah, there was, oh my god, there was these little ginger cats. So it was befriending the kittens. They did not want to be friends, but I admired from afar. And then on the Friday, so we flew home, and I read like 50% of a book on the plane, and I was feeling fine. And then as we started, we got back to our town, and then we were on the bus, and I was like, Stuart, I'm starting to feel really sick. Like, it's really weird. And we thought it was just because I don't like flying, I don't like traveling, so we thought it was just that. And then Stuart really wanted McDonald's for dinner, so I was like, okay, like right now I don't think I could eat anything, but McDonald's is fine. And then at like 10, I started being sick, and I was sick non-stop till 3 a.m. And I'm never sick, like obviously I get ill quite a bit, but I'm never sick. I've been sick once as an adult, and that was like the first time I'd been sick since I was 6 years old. I'm really not sick, and I'm terrified of being sick. So that was like awful. It was absolutely awful. And it was so violent and yeah, horrible. And we're not 100% sure what caused it, whether it was food poisoning, because Stuart's vegetarian and I'm not. So it might have been that I ate some poor meat, but we think more likely it's Heraklion Airport, because obviously when we landed, we only were in the airport to pick up our bags, but like by the toilets, there was a pool of water that filled like half of baggage claim. But, you know, that was only my feet. But we were in Heraklion Airport, obviously, for a lot longer on the Friday. And they in the toilets, the women's toilets, they only have like one working sink. And the soap is in like a Lucozade Sport bottle. It's disgusting. And we think I probably got sick from that. But it was so extreme. I don't know. So we're not sure. Like, it easily could have been food poisoning. We don't know. But either way, it was horrible. So obviously I felt very poorly. I didn't eat anything on Saturday because I couldn't keep any food down. I just kept being sick. Didn't do anything. Sunday, woke up at 4 a.m. And at this point, my urticaria is everywhere. So urticaria is basically like a really itchy rash. And it's everywhere. It's all over my body. My eyes are starting to swell shut. Like, it's awful. So, and being a Sunday, can't see my dermatologist. So I had to call 111, and then I had to go to urgent care, and it was just, yeah, a whole thing. And then what the worst part was that I really, really had to advocate for myself, bearing in mind I was so poorly, to get steroids. It was just horrible. Everything about the end part of this week was horrible. And it was so hard because when I eventually went back to work, everyone was like, oh my God, how was your honeymoon? And I was like, it's really hard to think about the honeymoon without thinking about how poorly I was. So it really sucks. And the hang on of being poorly, like I didn't read for ages because I was like triggered by like, and the book that I was reading, which I was really enjoying, I next picked up at the end of December because it was so triggering to me. I couldn't eat properly for weeks. Like, it was just awful. It was awful. So anyway, that was the end. What a way to end this video. Because yeah, we're going to go into Q4. So what a way to end. But I promise things get better. I promise things get better. But the spreads are beautiful. Like, I love every single spread. Like, you might have noticed if you've watched my previous flip through videos of previous years, I would used to pick a favourite kit from like a favourite spread from each month. I don't do that anymore because honestly, with my 2024 planner, I've just peaked. I love every single one and I cannot choose, so I'm not choosing. So in terms of some stats, so for kits, we have 1 Caress Press, 4 SPC, and 8 Planner Face. Oh, I don't think I mentioned IPR for Planner Face. Sorry, Hannah. IPR for Planner Face. So you can use my code CAT to save 10% in your orders and add my name and notes to seller to pick up my freebie. I knew I hadn't done all of my admin, but that's why I have so many Planner Face kits. And then in terms of follow, it is a real spread, like a real it's really varied. So I have one pink, one hollow, one orange, one matte bronze, one gold, one rose gold, one sparkly hollow, one purple. I have 2 silver, and then I have 3 ice blue. I love ice blue foil. Like when it goes, it really goes, like because it brings out that water. It's just perfect. So yeah, I really love ice blue when it's the perfect spread. Thank you so much for watching this video. I think I've been chatting for quite a while, so sorry about that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe. As mentioned in the description, I'll have the document for all of my favourites, so go check that out. And I'll also have a link to my Instagram and my Goodreads if you want to check out any more content from me. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.